The Marsh Boys podcast is brought to you by
Papa Earl's, Cajun seasoning at its best. Use it on chicken, beef, fish, vegetables, Bloody Marys, and everything in between. Check out their fish fry for that perfect golden crispiness and that great Cajun flavor.
and Top Down Decoys, the most affordable silhouette decoy on the market. Their horizontal and vertical styles are both a perfect fit for adding numbers to your snow, speck, and Canada spread.
You can check out all of our great sponsors through the link in any of our social media bios. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Hey, take it!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Marsh Boys podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm not wearing sunglasses inside.
That's a better one. Why? Because you're not Cuban?
No, because you have sunglasses on your hat and you're sitting in a chair with no camera.
And we are joined by the Gator boys once again, Jeff Violet and Gabe Torres.
What's going on?
Hey.
Hey. How you doing?
What's up? How y'all doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Me too.
So yeah, you guys have been doing pretty good so far this year. I figured tonight, once again, like I said before, we'll get a little bit of deer hunting, see what we can talk about with that. Gabe, since you shot your buck first, we'll talk about yours. You shot a nice 8-pointer.
Yeah.
That thing looked like a fucking horse.
Yeah, the body was huge on it. Antler was pretty small, but we could barely even drag it out.
That thing was a fucking horse.
Yeah, we had to gut it, we drug it, we put it on our shoulders. It was all.
You strung that thing on your shoulders?
Yeah, my buddy Luke did.
Good lord.
What did Wade dressed?
170.
Dressed?
Yeah.
It's a big deer.
Yeah.
How many boxes meat?
I just got one big bag of it.
What do you normally get when you get a deer cut up?
I get like ground meat, and that time I just got sausage.
Just ground
Like couple.
meat and sausage?
Yep.
Everything?
Yep.
Yeah. I did that for a while, and then I started having to not feed just myself.
Yeah.
So now my deer, I get one roast sliced.
Mm.
You don't like the other cuts, or?
I mean, I do. I just like try to do different things each time.
Gets
Yeah.
expensive too.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yes,
It
when
does.
you start adding steaks and jerky,
Slim Jims.
I love
Slim
steaks.
Jims,
Yeah.
your bill goes from $120 to
$300,
$180.
yeah.
Well, especially if you get a lot of jerky. Yeah.
And that's why I always get ground meat. Any deer I kill, doesn't matter how big, whatever. I get like 5 pounds of Slim Jims. I get ground meat, so I can do sausage. I can do jerky.
You don't like the back straps, or?
Oh, I
Oh
always
yeah,
get
you get
Yeah.
the back. You're saying
everything else, like the
with everything
front legs,
else,
back
yeah.
legs, neck meat.
Okay, yeah, I get
Typical.
you. I usually get the roast.
Yeah.
I've got but I don't know what to do with it. I got a real big one with the bone in still, and like I kind of wanted to smoke it, but I heard if you smoke it, it's just gonna turn into a rock. So
I'm no barbecue.
You'd have to talk to Dad about that.
You can't go wrong with the crock pot.
No,
you can't go wrong with
absolutely
crock
not.
pot. But
What is
this
it?
thing is like this fucking big.
Memphis, whatever, where you do like the peppercini peppers or whatever,
Oh,
and like the.
I do know what you mean.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
My mom does it all the time, like chicken and stuff like that.
No, I think it's just as easy as putting your roast beef stock, carrots, corn, and green beans, and then putting your gravy mix afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
and
I
making
feel
a
like you
beef
could put
stew.
my boot in a crock pot and let it go for 10 hours, and it probably tastes
Not the way
good.
your feet smell. So, have you been? Were you seeing this buck on camera?
Yeah, I've been seeing this buck basically like every single day. But there was a bigger buck that I was wanting to shoot, but this deer was just consistent every single day. And the one was like periodically here and then there, then wouldn't show up for a couple of days and come back. So, well, it was like the last couple of days of.
Last week
It
of
was,
October.
Yeah.
It was right before I shot my deer.
Yeah, it was right before the new permit started. So I was like, screw it. I might as well just shoot it. It was like a big body. It was, I think, 10 yards away from me when I shot it.
Tree stand?
Yeah.
That's a pretty steep angle, 10
Yeah.
yards. How high do you hunt just a regular ladder stand?
It was
Saddle?
18-foot ladder stand.
18-foot ladder stand?
Yeah.
How far did you have to track it?
15 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit it right through the heart.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
What green arrows do you shoot? You don't know?
No.
What do you shoot?
I just
What
buy
you
them and
You're
shoot.
shooting the FMGs?
Yeah.
They're pointy.
Well, 100,
Is it-
You're probably 100
is it-
green, so I'd probably say anywhere from 450
300.
to
I think it's
500.
300.
It's not 300.
No.
Well,
'Cause
I don't know.
I shoot, my arrows are 358, which is the lightest you could probably go.
Well, guys at Blackwater just tell me I get it.
Yeah,
They know,
shout out to
but
the
they
guys
know
at
more than
Blackwater.
me.
The FMJs are heavy.
Yeah.
So, did you, now let me ask you this, did you, Jersey, obviously very legal, did you hunt them off a pile, or did you hunt them?
Off pile, yeah.
Yeah?
I didn't let him get to the pile though.
No?
No, he was chasing a doe actually too. It's pretty early.
You think if you didn't touch him, he would have walked past that pile chasing that
Nah, he would have walked right into the pile.
Oh.
Yeah, the doe went off the opposite side a little bit, but he kept walking right to the pile.
I got you. So, let's talk about that then real quick. Well, Ryan, do you have any questions before we...
Just keep going. I'll just butt in whenever.
All right. So, did you guys notice the deer rutted really started, like middle September? Starting to figure out which does are which does, start rutting.
I
think it's
didn't
starting
really
in
see that.
September.
I don't really watch really. I just
I
if
mean,
if
I
see him.
have multiple trail cam pictures of the same buck with the same doe with his, I don't know if this plays a factor into it, when them glands really start flaring up
The
on
tarsal
the
gland.
back gland. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like
deep dark.
dark chocolate brown, like September 18th.
Yeah, so what happens a lot is, I notice this a lot. The bucks will be ready, but the does won't. So I
Okay.
noticed this a lot with like this week, like it's the first week in November, and still like, I hunted this morning, I saw 7 does, no bucks with them. So a lot of times the bucks will be ready, but the does
The
won't.
does just aren't ready.
Yeah. They're not estrus yet.
Because that was wild. Like that buck. So I showed you guys a video.
Mm.
He had been with that doe for 6 days.
Yeah.
Prior to me finally getting a daylight shot at him, and I thought that was because the only time I've really seen it is when they get them pinned down. Is when a buck will hang around the same doe that long, especially in this time of the year.
Mhm.
Typically early is the younger bucks.
Yeah. He's only. I mean, he shit. There's one. That's the first time I've done that in a while. He's probably only a 3-year-old deer. I mean, I'll show you the trail cam pictures. He's not very old. He's got for a pineland deer, he's got a pretty bigger rack.
How old do you think yours was? Like, if you were just gonna just shot in the dark estimate,
I'd say at least 3 years old.
at least.
Yeah.
3?
Would you or no?
I'd say maybe 2 if he was eating good.
You think he was that young?
I just say that because the rack was all funky,
Even-
but his body was huge.
Yeah,
There's a
even
lot
with
of
the giant
food around
body.
Yeah,
That's fair.
you're
A lot
right.
of food around. Yeah, I'm no deer scientist. I just know I kind of judge their body shape and then their head.
I feel like
The
body
head's a
shape
good
would
way
be.
to
Yeah.
judge.
It's weird. It's like the wider the eyes are apart, a lot of times on a deer. Well, I noticed in my area, the older that deer is going to be.
Do you think the head's a better judge than the body?
The biggest thing I'd say is the brisket. Like
Right in the front, like the
like,
chest,
if
right?
that-
Yeah.
if the brisket's
Hangs.
hanging low and it's like the brisket's really poking out. I'd say it's older deer.
Was yours really poking out, or you was just big and like?
I totally forget.
I think he was
fat.
just fat.
He might have just been fat, yeah.
Surrounded by
Nothing.
corn, I think that was just a fat deer.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Now, what about your buck, Jeff? Because I know on your post you said you had started on a new property. How new to this property were you before you started seeing them?
I literally set up cameras the week before. So it was my cousin's property, and she just had a baby. They have almost 100 acres in Carney's Point. And she hunts, but she's like, yeah, no one's hunting this year. Like, you should come out, hunt it, whatever.
Did she know this deer was on that property?
No. But they're not, I wouldn't say they're not serious hunters, but not like I am.
They set up a corn bog, go hunt. That's kind of it.
Yeah,
Fair
pretty
enough.
much. Yeah, I set up cams and I saw that deer, and I hunted him. I hunted the week I shot him. When I saw him, he was on the neighbor's property, about 100 yards away. And
Oh, so you saw him physically?
yeah,
Oh, shit.
I saw him, and then I hunted that night, and he just happened to come in. Yeah, I made a scrape, and he just started working the scrape, and that's when I shot him.
For those of you that are listening and maybe don't follow us or them on Instagram, how many points was it?
It was a 12,
What it weigh dressed out?
150.
So how old do you think he was?
Based on the rack and the junk he had on his rack, I'd probably say 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't go any higher than that. Maybe like a solid 3-year-old with
Yeah.
good genetics, but I mean, based on the weight, because it was early, he wasn't chasing or anything yet. 150. He didn't have a lot of mass either, so he could have been a solid 3-year-old. But highest I go was 4.
Yeah. And now let me ask you this: If you'd have pit, and I know this is like a trick question, because I know what I would say if I was asked this. If you'd have passed that deer, say you knew 100%, okay, this deer's 4 years old, with the way he's fed, because, I mean, you said Carney's Point, a lot of people know the area, there's big deer, big genetics in that area. A lot of good, once again, corn fed, bean fed, good, everything's perfect for a whitetail down there. Mm-hmm. If you let him go, do you think somebody else would have shot him? You think the neighbor would have shot him? Or do you think...
100%. 100%.
I was going to say, I know exactly what I would say because of his rack. I don't shoot for the rack a lot of times, but he was...
The second that deer comes in somebody's sights, like, that's probably going.
Yeah, he was the biggest... He scored... I did a rough score. I've scored a couple deer, but he scored 140 and a quarter. Mm-hmm. But that was my rough score. He was the biggest deer I've seen on that property.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But a lot of people don't realize, like, that's pretty big for New Jersey.
That's a solid deer.
Yeah.
That's the biggest deer I've ever killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 150 inch deer. I wouldn't say it's a once in a lifetime New Jersey deer, but you don't see them deer a lot.
No, not often. Especially how young he was. If he made it 5-6 years old, that deer would have been
160.
Just a total monster.
100%.
Yeah.
And plus, what we're assuming is 4 years old. He's already got. And by the picture, I mean that was a good 2-inch kicker. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'd have been wonky and weird.
Mm-hmm. You guys, I think, take the cake for the biggest body I've ever seen from somebody I know, and the biggest rack from anybody I've know. Like, that's really crazy, and it was like almost back to back for you guys.
It was a day apart. He shot.
Yeah.
I was in the stand.
I was going through Instagram. I was like, "Holy fuck!" And then I was going through Instagram again the next day. I was like, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah, he shot his the day before I shot mine.
And then Chenzo shoots a big deer, and then you just shared another big deer, wild looking buck.
Devin, that deer. So it's funny. Our buddy Luke was hunting that deer on state property, and Devin happened to hunt across the street on a private piece. And Luke had that deer on camera. And Chenzo called me like, "Dude, Devin just shot that triple mean bean buck." I was like, "No way!"
And just in case you guys didn't catch this, triple main bean buck, yes.
Yeah, that was a crazy deer. I haven't seen a deer like that in a long time.
Now,
did you rough score that one?
I wasn't there. I was actually asleep when they filmed it.
You were in Saskatchewan, like your Facebook story said. I saw that and I was like, because I told Ron, I was like, I really want to ask for them to see if they come on a podcast this week. And I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, that don't look cold enough to be Saskatchewan.
Yeah. That's the reason I did it.
So what about Chenzo's buck? Was that a state land buck? Oh no, you told me that was a private property buck. Now that, once again, I'm not going to say anything about the area. The area you're describing doesn't seem like it was a big piece of private.
So that piece isn't very big, but it backs up to a lot of woods.
Yes.
It's now it's now up for sale.
Yes, it is, and they want a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
I've looked into it plenty of times, thinking how, because the amount of big deer I've seen in that area is astronomical. Crossing the road.
A guy killed a double main bean buck there last year.
Yeah.
It was like 170 inches.
Yeah, there is some monster deer that run that neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I just need to hit like a really good bet for 3.5. And I'll take
Ryan's been doing really stupid sports bets for like $15 to win $30,000.
I do the same thing.
99% of gamblers quit before they hit big.
Exactly. I put a $2 parlay on football every week.
A $2 parlay?
Just one time it's going to hit for like 50,000.
I keep doing 50. I do $50 a week on all kinds of stupid shit.
And he wonders why he has no money.
It's fine.
He's going to quit before he hits big.
Yeah. No, I won't make the mistake of other gamblers.
So, do you guys have your permit buck lined up yet?
Yeah, I just missed mine this morning.
Did you?
Nah, you didn't have to say that on here.
Nah, it is what it is.
Do you name your deers?
No,
big deer hunters?
I don't know. No.
Yeah, they also don't call them deers. So.
Deers is the plural.
Deers is gay, and naming your deer is gay.
Damn, he's getting comfortable.
He knows our audience. So you said no.
Yeah, no.
Do you have a permit buck lined up?
I got a couple. I mean, this time of year you can see a big deer anywhere. So I got my couple spots I keep throughout the year. And then I've been hunting a lot of state hanging hunts and stuff like that.
So just going in, seeing deer sign hanging the next day or that
Pretty
weekend
much.
or whatnot.
Yeah, I got a lone wolf, so
Climber?
tree stand. No, it's a hang on, but the entire setup, sticks and everything weighs 14 pounds.
Oh, that's nice. So you
Yeah.
can pack that in a half mile and no sweat.
Yep, I love that thing. Been using it all.
Everybody says they love hang-ons more than like the sit-down stands. Can you kind of explain
Well,
why?
What do you mean by like climbers?
Yeah.
So I have a climber and I love my climber, but the thing with climbers, if you don't have a tree picked out and you plan on walking a little bit, if you're walking through tight stuff, it's bulky.
Yeah.
Like even if you have a light climber, it's bulky. So it's definitely more comfortable. But also you need a straight tree. Where the hang on, the lone wolf, I can put that on anything.
Yeah,
That's it.
as long as you can climb up it with your sticks.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can throw everything you need into a backpack instead of
100%.
throwing a square plate on your back.
Now, I'm not super familiar with it. Is that something you leave or that's something you pack in and pack out?
That's packing and pack out. That's
Okay.
a $1,200 set.
Okay, yeah, you don't want that getting stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
Oh, you don't buy the $12 tree sticks from Walmart? Screwing tree spikes on private property? I don't understand how people get away with that. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
The screw's about that long on them.
I've used them
And
before.
have you really?
Oh, 100%.
You ever bend them?
No, I've heard some horror stories about
Like I said, the lag, the biggest I've ever seen the lag is like 1.5 inches.
Yeah, so what I do, if I'm in a spot where I'm going to leave it, I take my drill with me. I drill out the hole and I get them really deep in there all the way. Not just through just where like the threads are. Because I've heard horror. The guy my dad works with fucking fell and it caught like under his tricep. Ripped every single muscle out of his tricep.
The hell with that.
And Luke.
Yeah, his
Luke's
mom.
gone.
His mom works at the emergency room, and she had a accident. She had a
Guy come in.
with an accident.
Fell climbing up and caught his body somewhere on those tree steps.
Yeah, it
It's
just ripped
very
it.
invisible, so it's good for like other hunters and deer and stuff. But I don't trust them.
No, and especially me, Ryan. No, you guys aren't bigger guys, but me and Ryan being bigger guys, like.
I've used them a lot. Like when I was younger, it is easy to slip on that.
Oh yeah,
Especially-
they're just coated in PVC.
Yeah.
They as soon as it gets cold out, they probably frost over like that.
Yeah, that's the worst time to use them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not saying they're not much. As far as frost goes, they're not much safer than a ladder stand because aluminum. I mean, the frost sticks to that pretty damn good.
I mean, you just gotta be careful. But I'm saying,
But
with
it's
those,
easier to be careful on a ladder
yeah,
than it is.
then
to
instead
tree
of
sticks.
falling down and ripping all the muscles out of your arm.
Plus,
yeah.
they kill the trees too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're drilling into the trees.
I
Yeah.
was set up in a tree, and literally the season after I was done using the tree fell. So sometimes the tree grows around them and it's fine. Other times they die. That's why I don't like using them.
Yeah. In the wood splitting days, you would see that. Like, you don't realize the damage they do. And then you see the rust travel all the way up and down the
Yep.
trunk when you're splitting them. Yeah, dude, they fuck them up.
So, oh shit, I had another question.
Have I that all? Yeah.
No, you haven't done any
I
of
don't
that.
think so.
I've been slacking here on questions. So, the hell do you think they're beeping at? I swear, I get that like 10 times a day.
Really?
Somebody just drive by and beep. I mean, granted, I've lived here for 12 years. Everybody knows where I live, but. So, you mentioned, you said you have a couple deer picked out for permit season. Do you, the properties that you're hunting, do you think you'll see bigger deer come in as November kind of rolls along?
Yeah, there's a couple spots I know. Like right now, it's not too hot, but once it starts getting hot, and especially like post rut, where the deer really gonna start hitting the bait, I'll start seeing a couple big deer. As far as like state land, like the spots I hang and hunt, it's a guessing game.
It's a gamble.
Yeah, you just gotta go based off the sign and hope you see something worth shooting.
Yeah. Are you now are you the kind of hunter that you've shot this really nice deer this year? Are you interested at all in shooting a deer any smaller than that? Now I'm not. Or so if say you see a main frame 130-inch 8-pointer, do you have any issue going after that buck?
Depends on the maturity. Like if it's an old deer, I get a funky deer behind my house, and he's a half rack, but he's an old deer. I have no problem shooting him.
Okay.
Do you think you're going more for meat now, or you're still going for like another crazy, like you said, like this half rack?
I'm not a meat hunter. Like,
You're not a meat hunter.
It's crazy to say. I'd rather eat like a ribeye steak from the grocery store than deer meat.
Really?
Yeah, like 100%. But as far as taste wise, but I just go for mature deer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're kind of on the flip coin of everybody's like. So me, I'm very, very much a meat hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I have no issue shooting that 2-year-old deer to put meat in my freezer, especially now as a homeowner. Granted, we're gonna have some nice changes come January, but that's why I shot the buck I did. I really wanted to cut down on cost. 140-pound buck walks out in front of me, I'm gonna shoot it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, and I agree 100%. But like I'm saying, there's the flip side of the coin where you may not love deer meat, but you're also not going out and shooting a 2-year-old deer just to shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
You are being, in the shoes you're in, you're still doing the right thing and going after a mature buck and with a nice. Now, are you into any? As I know, a lot of guys will do this where they'll have really mature bucks, 4 or 5-year-old deer, but they're coal bucks, so they kind of just wipe them out, wipe that genetics out. Do you have any issue taking out a coal buck like that as long as he's mature, or are you on the line with that?
In New Jersey, unless you have some crazy big piece of property, there's no sense in doing that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're out west somewhere, you're trying to grow big deer, you have your own property out there, then yeah, take the coal bucks out. They're gonna spread bad genetics. But here in New Jersey, if you hunt a 5-acre piece of property, if there's a 2-year-old deer with a funky rack, like, there's no sense in shooting him because he's traveling a 5-mile area.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. But like you said, a mature deer, like for me, it's all about the chase, like age over inches. So if there's a mature buck, I'm going to shoot it, regardless of what he scores. Yeah. I mean, mind you, if I have a 150-inch deer in a piece of property, I might pass that older deer with a funky rack.
That older 120-inch deer.
Yeah.
I just did it, but I didn't mean to do it. Anyway, where I was gonna go with that was, oh, God damn it, save me, or just let me sit here awkwardly. I had.
You let me sit here awkwardly. I don't hear
right.
shit.
So where I was gonna go with that was, it's kind of rare in New Jersey. I feel like it's hard to see older deer, like.
Well, I was going to bring that up later. You don't see 7-year-old deer.
You don't see, like I said, four to me, as like somebody that's not super into the deer hunting world, 4 seems like really, really old, especially for our area, for the public land. You don't see that. Now, what do you think as more experienced deer hunter? What is old to you?
I mean, like you said, New Jersey. I mean, a 4-year-old deer, in my eyes, is more mature. Like, based upon the rack. Like, obviously, you see a 4-year-old deer with a shitty rack, but I've had a couple, like a very handful of deer, like not very much that are past that 5-6-year-old mark. And it's just, the problem is, and don't get me wrong, we drive and stuff, we kill a lot of young deer when we drive, but if New Jersey wants to grow old, mature deer, they need to get rid of driving. They need to get rid of trail camps, bait piles on state land. Like, we're a management state. We're not a conservation state. We never will be a conservation state for big deer, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, we have the most people per square mile. You have to. But I don't know. It's just.
Now, do you think that differs from where we're at in South Jersey to them guys in the northwest corner of the state? Because there's a lot of big deer that come out of there.
And that's genes too, because take a look at the deer we have here in North Jersey, and then take a look at the deer in the Pine Barrens. Like,
yeah, no, I agree 100% with that. Yeah. What I'm saying is because I know, like, when you get to the northwest population of the state, like South Jersey is only 20% of the state, but like the northwest part, like Sussex County area, that's only like 2% of the state. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of people there. There's way more. I don't know if you've ever been up in that area. It's all mountains and woods, rocks, mountains, woods.
So it's harder to get to the deer up there.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there might be because I mean, you know this. I can go knock on a house 10 miles away. I've never talked to the guy before. He's probably got a bow sitting in his closet.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody deer hunts down here, which is why I think that's part of the problem. That, when guys talk about killing a 4-year-old deer, people in Iowa would laugh at us for that.
Mm-hmm.
But just like you said earlier, if you pass that deer is 100% getting shot.
Oh, 100%.
That year. They're not going to look at that and be like, why would I shoot that deer? No, that deer's going to get shot.
But you're saying big deer come out of up north there.
Yes.
I feel like that's one, because the terrain's harder. And two, like you said, it probably is genetics. They have to be hardier to survive up there.
Yeah, so I bear hunted up there when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And the terrain I was in, Sussex County, it's all laurels. Every piece of woods is all disgusting thick laurels.
Yeah.
Rocks, like ditches, everything. So this deer could be hiding anywhere.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of hunters up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of guys that do deer hunt.
But it's not like down here. Every piece of woods in South Jersey has a deer stand in it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're up there. I mean, you get in those thick woods up north, there's going to be people hunting it, but it's more like if you get in the city areas where their townships have like hunting ordinances and firearm ordinances and stuff, there's not going to be many people hunting. Like Staten Island, Sandy Hook.
Have you seen
Facebook? Yeah, I think I know what you're talking
the
about.
pictures of the deer on the beach?
Yep.
There's like a
Sandy Hook?
on the Sandy Hook beach. There's a picture, I believe, of a bachelor group of 4 to 5 bucks, and they're all 140, 150 inch deer. They're all
That's
monster.
crazy. Well, we went up there. I didn't even know there was even enough habitat on Sandy Hook for them to be there.
I know, like, I know. I'm not trying to like put anyone on blast, but there's a guy on Instagram. His name's Rogue Whitetails, and he hunts like backyard deer, like up in North Jersey, and he kills hammers. I mean, hammers.
Oh, it was just like that TV show they used to air on Discovery Animal
Chasing
Park.
tail.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they hunted New York in the suburbs.
Yep.
I think that's the show, right?
Bird feeder deer. Yeah.
Yeah. And they would shoot monster
Like a
bucks.
Seek One too.
Yeah, I watch them a lot.
Yes, Seek One. They do some wild stuff in like inner city stuff. It's wild.
But
Some of the
there's
stuff
big
he's
deer
doing.
there. 'Cause
Yeah.
Nobody hunts them.
Absolutely. And I will give them guys. They must have some super people skills because
Oh,
that's probably the
100%.
first time anybody's ever knocked on there and be like, "Hey, can I deer hunt in your backyard
Yeah.
in a suburban neighborhood?" And they get yeses all the time.
But they might get.
Oh yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. They're gonna get. It's probably a 1.5% they're gonna get say yes,
100%.
but they still get it. The funniest episode I ever saw of that Chasing Tail was that dude that put cigarettes out in his tree stand, and he shot that buck and it died on somebody's pool.
Yep, I remember that.
It died on their pool cover, and they're like, and I mean, obviously TV like blows it all up. They're like, ran in, oh my god, we gotta get this deer off here. Drug it off, there's blood all
Yeah.
the whole thing. But no, I agree with you 100% on that. I mean, I see it just in where I work in PA, like King of Prussia. There used to be this buck before they started doing pipe work near our McCoy quarry, right in King of Prussia. I mean, easy, 150, probably 155, 160 inch deer. Mainframe 10, just look like 2 lowercase C's coming off his head, big old G2s on him, and he would bed underneath this street lamp. Right next to like this little housing road.
Yeah.
Right next to a township sewers authority. His home range was probably 2 square miles.
Yep.
And half of that was woods. And he would bed down there every night. I think he got hit by a car last year, but
that's all any of them ever get, because we're right next to part of Wissahickons Trail, like up in PA, and nobody hunts up there. That is like not a thing. You got to go at least like 20 miles in any direction and try to find a place to hunt. They're just, it seems like every animal I'm after is there. Like, there's giant raccoons. There's so many foxes. One of them got on the Merc, and it was like a big deal. Like they had like
he was coming to let the monkeys out.
they had like 4 trucks out there, all setting traps all over Merc, and never got it because they didn't know what they were doing. And just giant deer everywhere. Massive amounts of geese, like resident geese that can travel all around in there. All these places, I don't know if they realize it or not, but they're like havens for hunted animals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, because there's no pressure.
No.
Yeah. It's crazy seeing it.
Yeah, like we're. I used to hunt this private piece, and it has this little cabin set up. You can hunt out of the cabin. It was like a deer blind, wooden deer blind. And the guy used to sit out there in his chair. This old guy used to sit out there in his chair, toss corn out. These does would come up 30 yards, just right off the main line, they called it, and would sit there and eat while this old man's just chilling in his chair.
Yeah.
And I shot my first deer there. And I shot one of the does. Now, he told me, I never knew he was doing all that. But he told me you could shoot any deer you want as long as it doesn't have spots.
Mm.
Shot my first deer. This big old doe. And he comes up to me and he goes, man, you killed, I forget what he said. He named that deer.
Oh.
He's like, oh, you killed her. That was a nice doe. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, oh, she come and eat corn every night about 4:30. I said, well, that's funny because I shot her at 4:15. So, like, I've seen that plenty of times before with deer. I feel like deer, as long as they're in the right setting, they get very accustomed to human pressure.
Yep.
Now,
Like the ones
hunting,
that go in that dude's garage.
yes, yeah. I mean,
he has like a whole herd that comes into his garage because he started feeding them.
look at all the cabin areas up in like the Poconos and stuff. I mean, there's deer that just walk through them neighborhoods. They don't care.
Oh yeah.
I think I need to start doing that. Some of my properties just sitting out there in a chair.
Mm-hmm.
But so as we transition into the later part of November, well, as we will transition. Right now, I mean, you would probably agree we're mid-rut. Like, you don't think so?
No.
You know, because
What
I
are your
mean,
thoughts?
I mean, every spot I've hunted, like I said, the bucks are ready, those aren't.
those still. Now, do you think that has something to do with the temperature?
I think it's been hot, and I think the next 2 weeks when it's going to be cool, I think we're going to see a later rut. But within next week and the third week, I think it's going to pick up more. But don't get me wrong, I've seen deer chasing and stuff, but
Once again, bucks chasing, does not taken.
yeah, pretty much.
So you think Thanksgiving's going to be prime time?
I'm saying the third week, the second and third week, if it stays cool.
Because when we had that spell, probably, I guess that would have been Thursday, Friday, Saturday, where it was like 28 degrees in the morning. Driving to work, like I could not do 60 mile an hour. Going day.
Was that from the fog or was that from the deer?
Well, Monday was because of the fog. I did like 40 mile an hour. I was so late to work. But I had to brake every half mile. I drive all back roads to the bridge anyway. I had to brake every half mile. And I'm not saying they were big bucks, but they were like decent bucks running everywhere at 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, chasing groups of does, chasing single does. I mean, if you saw a buck, it was with a doe. Now, and like you said, like I said, I'm not no deer expert. I'm a very lazy deer hunter. But when I start seeing that, that's what makes me ask these questions. Is because everything I've ever known was, all right, buck's chasing a doe, we're starting to rut. Or
it's 100% starting. I mean, I just don't think all the does are in yet.
the majority of the does.
Yeah, because I hunted this morning. I saw 7 does.
Yeah.
Not a single buck with them. Mature does. Not a single buck with them.
Really? Yeah, I mean, even for right now, that's wild to think. Because
Well, we've had that hot spell over the past, 3 days.
it's been terrible. Or Monday, it was what? 32, 34,
feels like
35
September.
degrees in the morning. By 8 o'clock, it was 60.
Yeah.
I hated it.
I wanted to ask you this because I'm an idiot and I missed my permit bow season.
I told him for the whole week, I said, you got to buy your permit before Saturday.
I just didn't have the money to do it. Oh, that was Pittsburgh. But
What I say on that
leave
is
this in. This is a good learning experience.
mature bucks, if there's a doe close by, he's following her, and she goes to the bait pile, he's going to eat because she's there.
Okay.
And right now, this crazy drought we're having, anywhere you can get with water,
That's
is
where
prime,
they're at.
is prime
I mean,
time right now. Because
irrigation pond, backside
Yep.
of a lake.
You got deer chasing right now. They're hot. Especially now. It's hot out. It's hot. They're hot. They're tired. They're gonna want to drink. They're gonna drink. And you know what? If the does are on the bait, you're gonna want to sit bait because they're gonna eat too. But they're definitely losing weight.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
you take a 200-pound deer, 200-pound buck. After the rut, I guarantee he's gonna weigh 160 pounds.
So what I'm understanding from this is by like the middle of winter bow, they start putting weight back on because they lost it all during the rut.
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure about that. I didn't know how.
If you have a good food
In
supply.
my mind, everybody's out there feeding. All the crops are getting cut. In my mind, their fattest would have been right now, but I didn't.
It's just like you when you were single and you go to a bar. You didn't care about, well, you did because you're fat. Most of the time, you don't care about wings. You're looking at that girl across the bar that's drinking too much.
No,
I care about wings
I
too.
care about wings.
Yeah, the wings at the bar we go to are pretty good.
What,
Football
steakhouse?
Steakhouse.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Can we go?
Neither have I.
Can we go?
But I'm a boneless wing guy.
Then me too.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing we agree on. I thought you were going to put me in the same category as the crossbow guy. It's like, damn, he shoots a crossbow and eats
You didn't
boneless
even talk
wings?
about that. We were talking about that beforehand. You guys didn't have your crossbow feud.
No, we were going to, remember what I said I wanted to do with that?
No. Oh yeah.
I'll plug it. I posted on the Instagram story, follow or go if you have $8 a month to spare. Go get on the Patreon. I'm going to be posting a lot of content on there,
You're an
recipes.
Expensive whore, dude.
$8 a month.
Yeah, you're an
Oh, also
expensive
with the
whore.
$8 a month, you get a free sticker pack just upon subscription. I'll send you free stickers your first month. You have early access to every merch drop we'll ever have. Just every merch drop we ever have, we have access to. Idiot, we're gonna do it after.
You don't want to do it right now while you're falling into it.
No, because I have to cut it out. I have to cut this out of the podcast when we do it. You guys need somebody new for Gator Boyz? He's a shitty videographer.
Mediocre. Mediocre is a better term.
Anyway, go jump on the Patreon if you guys really want to support us. You want to see some cool content. I do a lot of cooking stuff now, which that's a really cool thing. I know you said you're not really into the deer meat. Aaron downstairs loves deer meat. We've been at this house for a little over a month by ourselves, and jack off. A little over a month by ourselves. Actually, I guess almost 2 months. We've eaten wild game like twice a week. Whether it's goose meat, duck meat, deer meat, like she's all for it.
Yeah.
Like I made Scoter quesadillas, which is wild to say because if anybody talks about Scoters, like we cook them, feed them to the dogs, and
Yeah.
the dogs don't eat them. I made Scoter quesadillas for a Halloween party this week, and they were all gone before.
From this
Really.
angle, you look like the Lorax.
I speak for
Dude,
trees.
what the hell?
And they
Did you have it all zoomed in?
Yeah, I was all the way up on your beard. You look like the Lorax, dude.
I don't have a thick enough mustache to do it. So, now, how long after when the rut ends do you see the deer kind of start picking back up? Like, so say you're hunting, you're not hunting it, you're doing one of your pack-in hunts. Do you factor in how close you are to a food source when you do that, or are you just basically walking in looking for sign?
Pretty much sign this time of year. I mean, post rut.
Yeah, that's more or less what I was trying
Post-rut.
to get into was post-rut.
So I really don't do that too much post rut. If I'm in an area where I know there's deer, I'll do it. But I know post rut, deer are looking for food.
Mhm.
I know those fawns, those 1.5-year-old does will come in a rut. Like they'll come in estrus, like the first week of December. Because I know like driving and stuff like buck week. Like if you bring a grunt with you, like you might call deer in, just because there's younger deer are gonna come into estrus. But
Oh.
something to think about.
Yeah, I would have never thought about that.
Because you'll see, like driving and stuff, we'll see, I mean, deer use scrapes all year long, but
Yeah.
we'll see fresh rubs, we'll see scrapes, like, just, it's because those young does are coming into estrus.
All right, let me ask you this because I just saw. I know we're jumping around here. Let me ask you this: ropes. What are your thoughts on ropes?
Like for scrapes?
Hanging ropes, scent ropes. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah, I've used them before. I think they're a good tool. I mean, if you're not in a spot where there's not a lot of low-hanging branches and stuff, I mean, go ahead, go for them. They hold scent very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with them.
Yeah,
I
I
think
did-
they're good.
I didn't know that was a thing till this year. I listened to a podcast.
Yeah,
and they
it's
started talking
it's a
about it.
newer thing. Like all the industries are coming out with, like all the companies. But I used them. I had luck with them. I don't think it's the same as a branch, but I mean the deer will use them 100%.
So, Gabe, you haven't talked a lot, just like last time. They're all grinning.
Just listening.
Hey.
Hey.
Now, do you switch up your tactics any as far as deer hunting is like now until the end of the rut?
No, I just bait, shoot deer.
You're putting bait in an area where you know there's deer. They're
Yep.
going to come in.
Yep.
You're just hoping that mature, nice deer comes following. What I'm guessing. Now, when you guys set up a pile, I'll let both of you answer on this. When you walk into a new piece of woods, or any piece of woods, you don't have to be new. Are you setting up a pile where you know the does are, or where you've seen bucks? Are you trying to attract the does, or are you trying to just go right after that buck? Let's call it any time of the year.
So I'll find sign first, like deer trails, whatever they're using, and I'll find like a good area where I can put a tree, easy access, and get in, get out, nice and quiet where the wind's good. And I'll put a pile. And when I put a pile, like a lot of guys, what they do is they just dump a corn in one spot. But the problem with that is you get a rain, whatever, it goes bad. You get mold on it, whatever. So what I do with all my piles, I spread it out. Doesn't matter if I'm beating with sugar beets, sweet potatoes, corn. I spread all of it out. So it's more of a natural type of feed versus just, okay, there's a pile of corn right there. Because mature bucks, they can see a pile of corn in the middle of a piece of woods where it's all oaks and pines, whatever. And they're like, all right, that does look natural. I'm not going to go there. So I typically spread it around. And that saves you a lot of money on corn and stuff,
Yeah.
too.
They don't eat it so fast. Yeah.
They kind of search for it.
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta make
it's
them
naturally
dig
feed
for it.
You know what I mean?
Do you do like a route, or it's just like a large circular area?
Yeah, I'll do like a large area. Like behind my house, I have an area cleared out. I'll spread it all around. Like within like a 30-yard area, I'll spread sugar beets.
Do you
or
keep your
corn.
stand in the middle, or like you keep it off to the side? Like, what if it's kind of far? What if they don't come all the way into it?
I keep it on the outskirts. I never set up within the beet, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
It's the same thing as when you set up a food plot. You're always setting up on the end of a food plot
Yeah.
somewhere. Now, what about you, Gabe? When you go into your property, and now I know, I'm assuming most of the bait piles you have are established bait piles.
Yeah.
If you were to go into a new piece of property, say it butts up to a soybean field, and you've seen 20 does over here.
Yeah.
But then on this side is a cut cornfield, and you've seen two whatever bucks you're imagining in your head over here. Where in there would you set your pile? Would you start at?
Well, I mean, more because of the bucks, because I'd want to shoot a buck more than a doe. But if I really tried, I'd just set up right in the middle and just meet two ends.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I like that answer. I was getting ready to do the same thing. I had a couple notifications pop up.
Yeah, I'm checking for trail cam pics.
I love these trail cameras. I saw you have the Tacticam app, right?
Yeah.
Are you using the Gen 2s, or did you upgrade to the Gen 3s yet?
I got a couple 3s. I got a couple real old ones. I got a couple 2 Pros. I got like 8 of them.
Oh,
What's
that's-
mine? The two?
Yeah, that's disappointing. I haven't seen my 9-pointer in like a week and a half. The last time I saw him, now granted, he could
He
have a
might
no
have got
pin
caught.
down.
You might have got caught.
See, every time I like really start thinking that,
Yeah.
he shows up at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I'm thinking it, so maybe he'll show up tonight.
No, there's a.
So here's a question. I don't know if this is something you guys are interested in, but like after the season, do you ever go look for drops? Is that like
Sheds.
Well, like
Shed?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
it's crazy.
You guys do good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the coolest sheds you found? Obviously, no location dropping.
Yeah. Last year actually, I found my biggest shed. It was a
One or
big,
a set?
One. It was a big 4-point side. I found my buddy's property. If it matched the other side, it'd be 140 something shears. It was the biggest shed I ever found.
Just a solid main frame.
Just
10.
a 4.
Well, what he would have been was a 10.
I
Or
think
an
he
8.
was a 9 because one guy got pictures of him, but that was the biggest shed I ever found. I mean, more than anything, I find dead heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it seems like an awful problem. I think we found 4 last year.
They're always on the water, and you always know what they had when they went
Yep.
down.
Yep.
Shot deer. I mean, especially with EHD a couple years ago. Like
That was
EHD was what I was talking about. You walked along the water, one of the spots is just dead.
Yep.
We found over. I found over 100 dead deer, bucks and does.
Yeah, it's
From that.
I just saw a story about that. It's like the public land problem the United States can't seem to shake is the EHS.
we're never going to. And
They're called midge flies, and there's a spray that they could spray the crops with. I mean, this is like, take this with a grain of salt, but they could spray this and I don't know if it sterilizes the flies or kills them or whatever, but
midges are gnats, right? That's just what they call them over
Is it?
in. So all the gnats you see are technically what you're calling midge flies.
are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how that would work.
Ryan does a pretty good amount of damage on them with a hat when they ball up. So he's helping out.
I have a crazy story, but let's finish this first.
So the last time, they call it blue tongue too.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
the last time that happened was probably 15, 20 years ago, and then it just happened a couple, like
I was gonna say-
2022. Like, I know my property behind my house, I found 15 dead deer, bucks and does.
Now, do you see any kind of pattern with it? Are you seeing young deer, old deer, or is it just all deer?
All deer.
But how does it look this year? Because I know 22 is bad. Because that was when we were starting to get into duck hunting, and that was when we found all of them walking through back there.
He got in a duck hunt.
Me,
Yeah,
yes, I got into duck hunting.
Like that year is crazy. I didn't see many deer at all. But this year, I mean,
It
those
doesn't
numbers
seem
are
to be a
bouncing
problem
back.
this year.
I noticed like down towards towards the Delaware River, like the bay, like those areas weren't bothered, but us, like these farmlands where you just get stagnant water.
Yeah.
They were hit hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I know a lot of it. It's the same deer going to the same irrigation pond and then going to a bait pile, and if Jersey just up one year said, okay, I know how to we know how to that we have scientific evidence that bait piles are a leading cause in killing these deer with EHD, blue tongue, whatever it is, and they were like, no more bait piles. Not even on private property. Would you guys have any issue with that?
No.
I knew your answer. Would you have any issue with that, Gabe?
Probably not. No.
Would that turn you more into a waterfowl or even
Yeah.
more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really do much deer hunting unless it's like the off season of duck
Yeah,
hunting.
I agree. I'm with
Yeah.
you 100% on that.
That's when I actually like deer hunt. And like when duck comes back in, like I'll just hunt like
Well,
Sundays.
tomorrow.
Yeah, and tomorrow.
You guys should go with us at some point, though. Like, it is a lot of fun.
100%.
Yeah.
But because I thought, and they're actually, it seems like they're going the complete opposite way in New Jersey. That I think it's what you can shoot $7 right now,
Yeah.
and they want to up it to 8.
Next year's gonna.
Next year's gonna be bad.
Yeah, they do the survey every year, and they don't listen to hunters.
No,
it's
absolutely.
It's New Jersey.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm more of a trophy hunter, but like it's ridiculous the amount of deer you can kill. You can kill like 35 deer.
More than that, if you hunt regulation zone 6 or 7, 6 regulation set 6, whatever that zone 25, 27, 28. I think there's 4 more zones you can hunt with regulation set 6. This was the first year in like 3 years I haven't seen where it wasn't unlimited does.
Yeah, it's 5 now.
It's 9.
9?
Yeah, so like this zone 25. Yeah, you can shoot 9 does in each season, and you can go and buy another zone permit in the same regulation set.
Yeah.
If you went and if some guy, and I doubt this will ever happen, if some guy was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna go shoot every deer I can under every permit just with a bow, that would be math, hold on, 999 is 27, 54 does and $7.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a lot of freezers.
Yeah. There's no need for that.
I agree. Now, granted, I don't think we should ever do what PA does. I think we have the deer population to sustain a guy going out and shooting 4 deer a year.
Yeah.
PA's super brutal.
PA is $1
Yeah.
with everything, and you have to apply for doe tags.
But I've seen Amish guys, because it's in the middle of Amish country.
Yes.
I've seen guys in there drop like $4,000 on a brand new bow setup.
Well, Amish guys.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
It's
that
not
one guy.
electric.
He gave it all cash too.
All
It just
cash.
just dropped it right on the
They don't
table.
do anything else.
No, that's a good. They don't have hobbies.
It's
I
not
guess they
electric
could
and their
woodwork.
wires are large.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like they drop the latest and greatest fucking money on bow setups.
And they're going and shooting deer in June.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. Like, I am all for going and killing what you need to eat. Do it in the season. Like, shooting a doe in June, that's cheating. That's 110%
Plus the
cheating.
deer all full of worms and shit.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
ugh,
gross.
I don't
Have you
even
ever
like
actually
shoot-
seen that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
shot a doe. Was it 2 years? The first week of September. It was the nastiest thing I've ever seen. I ate it, but I mean, instead of white belly, it looked black with ticks.
Okay, ticks are one thing, but does that really affect the meat?
Yes, ticks have diseases. What pumps
Yeah,
through
that
the meat?
that Texas whatever that
The
The
you
meat,
can't eat red meat
yeah.
anymore.
Lyme
Yeah,
disease.
that's
Lyme
probably.
disease. Yes, that's
That's
a
something different, though.
tick-borne illness.
I think out of all the diseases, that's probably one of the worst diseases to live with.
Lyme's? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
No, not
like-
Lyme's, not being
the
able
Texas
to eat
Texas-
red
yeah the
meat.
Texas
Texas
red
one.
whatever I don't even know what it's called.
Imagine, all you get is chicken and turkey for the
Yeah.
rest of your
Well,
life.
no, you can eat goose meat, duck meat, and pheasant meat. It doesn't have the enzyme that. Yeah, because Aaron's boss has that, and she takes goose meat from us. Yeah, it's a certain enzyme of
That's the
beef.
closest thing she can get to steak.
Yeah. And I don't know, but I don't think you can eat deer meat. But yeah, I wouldn't. I will never shoot a deer again before the third week of September. And it even depends on that. Like if we're getting 85-degree days, like it's not killing the ticks off. It's not killing mosquitoes off. It's not killing these worms. Like these deer are nasty, nasty critters in the summertime.
Yeah.
I killed deer like late season and still have tons of ticks on them.
Yeah. And you just think that's where they're at. The area
Yeah.
they're at.
100%.
How prominent is that disease here?
What's
Like, how many people do you know that actually got it? Because I can name 3 off the top of my
like
head.
Lyme disease? Or
No,
like
that
red
Texas-
meat disease. Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Really?
Really?
I can name 4 people right
Because
now.
I know
know
with
3
Lyme's,
people here.
people can't eat red meat too.
Yeah, if you get it bad enough.
Yeah, but I don't
That's
know.
only
all
when it
the
flares
logistics
up.
of it.
This is like a different thing, isn't it?
No, this is like
Yeah.
you can never eat it again.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know it's. I wouldn't say it's common around here, but it's definitely around. It's not really all that rare. Sorry, that was where I was going with that.
So we've already asked if you guys have any bucks on camera or whatnot like that. How with you, Jeff, because I know you'll do either bait pile walk-in. Are you getting this time of year, and even moving into winter bow? Do you get more aggressive, or you get more patient with these bucks?
Right now, 100% more aggressive.
Are you pushing beds,
Yep.
doing all that kind of stuff?
Yep. Wherever there's sign, I'm going. Especially like hanging hunts. But I mean, my spots I have bait. I'll just sit the bait. Like, it is what it is. But if I'm scouting a piece of state or something and I see sign, I'm gonna go in. Doesn't matter. Because I typically go in early enough, and these deer, like you might blow a couple does out, but there could be a buck cruising through.
Mm-hmm.
So you never, like this time of year, you never know what's gonna happen.
And also this year, I will say, has completely turned me into an afternoon hunter. Up until this year, it was always, "Ew, why would you hunt the afternoon? Deer ain't moving in the afternoon." All I have is afternoon movement. Like I had my 9-pointer showed up one time this year before 6 o'clock at night. I shot my buck at 5:30. I have it's every other spot I've had was morning spots, but just this right now, I feel like they're more. I don't know if it's because it's cooler out in the afternoons, if they were just baking in the sun all day and then they're getting up and they're full of energy. Are you more of a morning guy, afternoon guy, or just
Doesn't matter.
whatever the deer move?
Yeah, it's whenever they
'cause
move.
You can't go. Like the thing I've learned, like hunting, like you can't go off what a trail camera says.
Okay.
Just because you see deer at a certain time doesn't mean you go into another time and there's not deer all around your stand.
Oh, I learned that the
Chainsaw.
first time I saw the 9-pointer in person. The first time I saw that 9-pointer, he walked 5 yards behind the trail camera and just kept going. I had him. I was like, man, like he comes in on Saturday nights. He'll show up at 4 in the morning, and he's at the bait pile 6:10. He did it for 3 weeks, every single Sunday night, and just like a clock, here he comes. I see a tail flicker, and I knew it was bigger than all the does I had on camera. I saw his rack, and I started shaking, as you do, and he kind of walked up. So the trail camera's here, bait pile's here, I'm here. His line, like you saw, was down. Instead of coming straight down that line, he hooked behind a pine tree and just walked straight 5 yards behind the camera. And I sat there, and as I heard his footsteps kind of pace off, I heard a car beep as he crossed the road, heard everything. I was sitting there as daylight, I'm going, how many times has he done that?
Yeah.
And I'll never know. He could never, what I always thought he did was he went away. He followed this railroad track down for a week and was following his range. I mean, he's a bigger deer. He's one of the bigger deer. He's the biggest deer I've had on camera, and I think I've had 7 different bucks on camera so far. He's got to be king of the hill in that area. What I thought he was doing was going behind the property, across the street, following a railroad. He could very easily be set up in a 500-yard range, and if he's taking that line every other night, I'll never see him. Do you find that sometimes in your areas where you set up your camera, these deer are just not coming in front of it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's just deer, because for bait, it's an easy access place. So in an unnatural place. So they're definitely skeptical, even does and everything, and that's based upon scent and everything. Some deer will just come right in, but you get a newer deer, they're gonna check it out. They might hang out on the outskirts, check it out, and then just walk around, do their own thing, sniff out, and then they'll come in. But
all right, Ryan, did you have anything else to add about the deer hunting deal? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before I ask you about your waterfowl season so far? So how's your waterfowl season been so far? How was September goose? Did you guys hunt South Jersey opener duck?
Goose is pretty good at the last couple of days.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures you guys posted. You got on pretty good.
Yeah. Opening day at duck, we got beat to every single spot because we were pond hopping because the tide was all bad and everything.
Yeah.
And every single spot we got beat to. So we finally found a spot right at shooting light, and it was like a mile walk. We were walking to the river basically.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of ducks all around. Nothing came to us though.
Was it a big shallow pond?
No.
Oh, okay. But now
Don't spot burn.
there's a lot of big shallow ponds. We were going to hunt a big shallow pond tomorrow if we could get the boat in there. And it's not even a pond; it's a bay. It's only 3 foot deep. We're not putting a 19-foot boat in there.
Yeah.
Are you? So I know a lot of guys will say yes. Do you think we have more birds than normal right now?
I don't know really.
I can say as a fact, yes.
Yeah.
The first 3 weeks of the season, or the first 3 weeks after Northstone started, there was teal everywhere.
Yeah.
The teal were crazy. They've kind of paced themselves out. There's still a lot around, but not like what it was.
Yeah.
Wood ducks were nuts. Everybody's shooting wood ducks. The mallards moved in early. I just went scouting last Sunday and saw easily over 300 black ducks.
Yeah.
The brant are moving down. I think if you, because you're a newer waterfowler, right?
No, I've done it for 7 years now.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I was off for a couple of years. This is easily going to be one of the better years we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. The birds, especially if they say it's supposed to start getting cold again middle of next week. If we get that, season's going to be phenomenal.
Yep.
Especially if you're hunting tidal places. Now, where these freshwater spots are drying up, obviously it's not going to be as good. Water is key for birds over anything else. But opening day of Scoter season down in Maryland, we had an opportunity to shoot 13 birds. We shot 7, or no, we had an opportunity to shoot, I think, what was it, 11 birds?
It was 11
4.
and we got 7.
Yeah. And then that Monday after, it was just limit for Jeff.
Yeah.
It was nuts. In Maryland, I don't know. I'm very, very, very excited about this year's duck season.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Did you ever end up getting your boot?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yep.
There you go. Now you're all ready.
Yep. We went on it the last day of duck. We shot 2 teal and a black duck. Could have had a lot more, but just like.
That's always the story, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
What kind
guys.
of boat did you get?
14-foot low.
It's good.
All right. Well, if you don't have anything else to add.
That's all I got. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you work today. I ain't getting much else out of you. You guys want to talk about anything else before we end it?
I'm good, yeah.
All right. Make sure you check out the Patreon for what the conversation is going to be after I hit this little red button on the podcaster. Once again, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for joining us again. Obviously, we'll have you on sometime soon.
See you.